I hate you, Candy Crush. Hey y'all, it's Ned over My Philippine Dreams. Michelle cannot be here today as she is out getting a pedicure. I'm not sure what a pedicure is, but she's getting it cured. And I wish she had told me about this obvious infection that she has earlier. What we're going to talk about, a lot of times when I'm bored and I have nothing to do, I'll be perusing other people's forums on things relevant to the Philippines, Dumaguete in particular. And I actually came across this one site, yourlifeinthephilippines.com, that had an interesting article that was written about Dumaguete, ostensibly it was posted on December 4th, which is about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I don't even know what day it is. And it was entitled, Vacation in Dumaguete by a Jaded Tourist to the Philippines. And ostensibly, he introduced it as this. He said, to start with, let me give you some background. The following is an article I asked an American guy to write whom I had met when he recently had a vacation in Dumaguete. When he was leaving, I asked him if he wouldn't mind writing an article for us relating his experiences here. And when he did and I read it, quite honestly, quite is spelled wrong, I was a little shocked. All right, first off, the author of this article is named Gord. Gord, you didn't write this article. You posted this December 4th, 2014, and you pulled it from a forum, and the original article was actually written back in 2013. I can understand that, content is sometimes a bear and a chore, and sometimes it's boring to write, but you got to do it yourself. You can't be, lifting other people's material. I myself have never done that, I think. I've been inspired by others, but I've never lifted it directly. So this is an example of somebody who's pulling somebody else's work and taking credit for it. Because content is a pain in the butt, and you got to maintain content to maintain relevancy on the internet. And what we're going to look at now is the 2013 forum article that the guy got this from. And if you go to Your Life in the Philippines and you look at Vacation in Dumaguete, you can actually see in the comments section below people are commenting on where he pulled it from. I'm not going to name that site because it's a sketchy site that they got it from. But the guy, he had his opinion, and we're going to talk about his opinion. And we're going to look at some of the things he was talking about. First off, he starts off with, there's no stoplights in Dumaguete. He's very upset about this. There's no stoplights, there's no stop signs, it's basically a free-for-all. Your first motorcycle or scooter experience in Dumaguete is one that you are not likely to forget. It's a great time. Whenever we're talking about developing countries and developing nations, and whether you want to call it first, second, third world, developing, whatever you want to call it, what you have to look at is revenue. How much money does the government have to operate? Take the United States, for example. In 2012, I believe the United States raised about $2.5 trillion in taxes. The Philippines, on the other hand, in 2012 raised $2.5 billion. So you're looking at $2.5 trillion versus $2.5 billion. And when you break it down, because the U.S. has about 300 million people, the Philippines has about 100 million. When you're looking at total revenue broken down per capita, it comes out to about 800 billion was raised in the U.S. If you take that 2.5, you divide it by 3. 800 billion for the U.S. if they had 100 million people, and 2.5 billion for the Republic of the Philippines. So that's a pretty big difference. That's 400 times the amount of tax revenue that the United States is able to generate, despite all the wars and all the crazy stuff that we're involved in. A lot of that goes to infrastructure. Whenever you're talking electricity, internet, roads, signs, stoplights, anything like that, infrastructure, airports where those planey things come flying in, these are the things that you have to keep in mind. When the United States has 400 times the tax revenue to devote to projects such as, stoplights and street signs and all that stuff, they have a definite advantage. So instead of being upset about the stop signs and the lack of stop signs and streetlights in Dumaguete, you can appreciate the fact that you were, born in a country where they raise $2.5 trillion in tax revenue every year. And they're able to devote a lot of that, or some of that, to the infrastructure. And we do have pretty good infrastructure in the United States. Then he goes on to say there's no convenience stores in the Philippines, in Dumaguete. Dude, Dumaguete is one giant convenience store. There are sari-saris and those little mom and pop places all over the place. You could also go to Lee Plaza, Robinson Supermarket. Literally, the entire town is a convenience store. And then he goes on to say he was very upset because at 6 o'clock in the morning, the Zumba jazzercise people were outside his hotel room on the boulevard, you know, blasting their music, their Zumba music, and shaking their booties. He was very upset about that. What you could do is you could ask for a different hotel room on the other side of the hotel. You were probably at Bethel overlooking the water, which is those are nice views and everything. But yeah, you're going to get the Zumba in the morning. Or you could just go out, you know, get some nice Lycra stretchy spandex on, get out there and start shaking your booty and start exercising and meeting people and saying hi. I always recommend when people come here to adapt to the local time schedule, get up early to, you know, take advantage of those beautiful morning hours where it's nice and cool and there's not much traffic. Because in the afternoon you're going to be taking a siesta until later on in the afternoon when it cools off. People just throw their shit in the ocean. All kinds of litter in the sea. Yep. Again, we're looking at. There was some place that actually started putting in trash cans, and then the trash cans kept getting stolen by scrap collectors and stuff. So they had a problem with that. Yeah, you're gonna see some trash. Also, you got to realize when people say Dumaguete, and he starts off with saying Dumaguete is a shithole. If you're in downtown Dumaguete and it's noontime and there's people running all over the place and all the congestion and all the fumes and all the exhausts and all the mayhem and the chaos is kicking in and the population is at 400,000 because that's what it swells to during the day with all the influx of the workers and the students, yes, it's going to be really rough. It's going to be a shithole, yeah. But on the flip side, you go out to the outlying areas and you don't have to travel far, 10, 15 minutes outside, you know, of Dumaguete city proper, and you're in some beautiful areas. You get Banilad, Bacong, Valencia, Darwin, Sibulan, Candauay, Bunyao. Yeah, Bunyao. You get all these areas that you can get to and get away from the heat, the congestion, and all that stuff. All the conveniences are in the city, though. All those convenience stores and all that stuff are right in there. Let's see. Fruity beer. You serious? I had a lemon beer and it tasted like shit. Man, don't be talking about our San Miguel flavored beers. They have, San Miguel's got their apple beer, I think, which isn't too bad. And they get some other different flavors and stuff. Overall, San Miguel Pilsens in particular, when they're ice cold, you get like honeycomb, you get the ice on the outside or high. They're quite tasty, and at the end of a long day and you've been working and your siesta and all that stuff, your exhausting schedule, it's nice to wind down with a nice ice cold beer. He also goes on to say that he met up with a lady at the Why Not, and she had really bad breath that could melt butter at the Honeycomb Hotel. Oh, he was staying at the Honeycomb Hotel. Okay. So yeah, he met a girl with bad breath at Why Not. My question to you is, why are you going to Why Not? Yeah, it's basically the only discotheque in Dumaguete, but it's kind of got a reputation, and you're not going to find real, high quality dating material there if that's what you're looking for. On the flip side, they do got cool pool tables, so if you're looking to play pool, Why Not is the place to go. He got further upset at Why Not for repeating the song Bubble Butt about 100 times. Then he goes on to say, now there is an intelligent song. Dude, don't go to Why Not. I call it the Why Bother, all right? You're not going to find anything worthwhile there other than good pool tables. And finally, he goes on to say, it's a smaller version of Manila, bad driving manners, smelly seawater, seemingly stupid people, and car exhaust smell everywhere. Yeah, there's a lot of car exhaust smell, especially with all those two-stroke tricycles and all that. Smelly seawater, that's actually not the seawater that smells. Those are the sewer outlets that are going underneath the boulevard and outletting into the ocean. And that's all the effluents and all that stuff coming out from the city. And that's actually what stinks. And if you want to see some really good sized rats, that's the place to hang out. Just look for those little holes at the bottom of the retaining wall. What else does he say? Bad driving manners. Actually, yeah, you just got to be aggressive. It's Southeast Asia, man. Everybody kind of drives the same. You just got to be aggressive. You got to, pay attention to what's going on, and you got to take yours. If you're going to sit there and wait for somebody to let you go, you're going to be sitting there for quite a while. Everybody's going to be passing you by. You got to figure out the flow, man. You got to get into it. And litter, yeah, we talked about litter before. Seeming stupid people. He didn't say seemingly stupid people. He just wrote seeming stupid people. Where's that coming from, man? Was that totally necessary? Actually, Asians, I believe, overall have higher IQs than Caucasians or anybody else. I don't know, something like that. Let's not get into that. So this guy didn't have a good time. He didn't have a pleasant experience here in the city of gentle people. And that's okay, not everybody does. And it's something that you have to keep in mind. I'm always worried that I'm going to run into a subscriber who's going to be like, hey Ned, you described this place as such a utopia and such a wonderland in Hawaii on the cheap, and it's actually pretty grimy. I haven't had that happen yet, but maybe it's going through some of their heads. So don't get it twisted. Keep everything and respect everybody's opinion. I respect this guy's opinion. I don't respect his grammar, but I respect his opinion. And you have to look at both sides. And that's why if you're thinking about retiring, if you're thinking about working remotely in the Philippines, if you're thinking about translocating yourself, 6, 7, 10, 12,000 miles away, you got to keep all this stuff in consideration. That about wraps it up. My better half is here now, and so we'll be doing some signing off. This is Ned.
And this is Michelle.
And we are My Philippine Dreams, and we'll see you next time. Woo.